Welcome to Defining the Relationship with Danny Silk. This session is entitled 90-10 Factor.
This final session is really the kind of the culmination of why we have relationships, and that is for connection. It is, especially if it's an intimate relationship, a spouse, then we're going for a deep connection. We have an opportunity to meet needs that don't happen outside of a marriage in a healthy way, in a biblical way. This is where the depth of an emotional soul tie, the depth of a sexual experience, the depth of commitment and covenant is experienced back and forth. And I want you to understand that men and women are so complex in their differences that, we make fun of it a lot, and we I don't know, there's videos about this stuff.
Hello?
Honey? Are you at the club?
Yes.
I'm at the mall now, and I found this beautiful leather coat. It's only $1,000. Can I get it?
Well, sure, if you like it that much.
Okay. I also stopped by the Mercedes dealership and saw the new model. The one I really like.
How much?
$120.
Well, at that price, I want it with all the options.
Great. Oh, and one more thing. The house we wanted last year is back on the market. They're asking 1.5.
We'll make them an offer. But come in at 1.4.
Okay. I love you, baby.
I love you too.
Okay, bye.
Does anybody know whose phone this is?
Oh, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Oh. The idea of building intimate connections is rooted in truth and trust, not that. And when a man leaves his mother and father, when he leaves his family, he is to cleave, literally to be cemented to, joined to his wife. There is a process of blending lives together that is literally like cementing or gluing two substances together, like two boards, if you will. That's why divorce or betrayal, broken covenant is so devastating, is because of this bond is meant to be held together. It becomes part of each piece. So if you glue two boards together, leave them together for, a few months or whatever it is, and then you pull them apart, there's part of this board left on this board, and part of this board is now on this board. And that is the damaging effects of broken covenants. That's why when somebody that you trust, that you love, fails, betrays, it could be a spiritual leader. It could be a parent, a sibling. When they break the covenant, the reason that it is so devastating is because of this joining, because of this glue, and because of the fact that a part of you goes away. And you have to literally go get it back. If you experience a divorce, or you've experienced abuse, or abandonment, or betrayal, or whatever that has manifest into unresolved relational disconnect, where they moved away, they went to prison, they married somebody else, they whatever. You need to get your stuff back. You need to get your hope back. You need to get your vulnerability back. You need to get your trust back. You need to get your innocence back. There's all kinds of stuff that could be on somebody else's life. And likewise, you may have to get rid of some stuff that's stuck on your life. Some judgments, some curses, some fears, whatever it might be. And this goes back to some of the sozo type ministry, inner healing type work. So if you're going to, right out of the gate, what I want to talk to you about is if you're going to work on creating a covenant with someone, you have to bring your whole self to it. You can't just bring what's left over to it. Some people have been, they were married and they had all the grandeur and all the ideals of the house on the hill and the white picket fence and the 3 kids and the 2-car garage and whatever, and then blam. They now come to the next marriage with, I'm going to try to find somebody as opposite as I can as that last marriage. And so nothing goes wrong with this one. And then I realized that I now have married a reaction to my first marriage, which was a mistake. And that ended in a divorce. And now I'm in my 3rd marriage, and I'm like, okay, here's the deal. You got your checkbook, I got my checkbook. We have sex on Wednesdays. Deal? Deal. Okay, there we go. Why? Because what's left over after these broken covenants of my heart to offer is a fraction of what the first one got. So the process of inner healing is about rebuilding and restoring your ability to make covenant, your ability to join, so that you can have intimacy. See, if you can't bring your whole heart, if you can't bring shalom, if you will, wholeness, prosperity, peace, if you can't bring that with you when you make a covenant, then intimacy will be so difficult for you. Because you'll constantly be on guard. You'll be anxious when there's nothing to be anxious about. And it shows up first in your relationship with God. Can you have peace and shalom and covenant with Him? See, there's nothing wrong on His side. Nothing. And if you got this with the Lord, then you're like, okay, I got a thing. I got a problem here. I need some healing. I need to... No person is going to be able to stand in this place of intimacy with me if I can't get this one going. And if my template of my family history is what I'm using as a guide, I'll find lots of people that'll measure up to my template. But if my goal is intimacy, if my goal is the experience and the exchange in an intimate relationship, then it's going to have to show up with the perfect one before it's ever going to show up with the imperfect one.
That's right.
A close personal relationship, a quiet and private atmosphere, a detailed knowledge resulting from a close or long association or study, a private and personal utterance or action, a sexual act or sexual intercourse used euphemistically. It is what we talked about several times so far, and that is, here I am. I'm going to be me when you're around. I hope that you will accept me, know me. I'm going to show you this person. I hope that you study them. I hope that you learn them. I hope that you value them. And I want to be able to feel loved, safe, treasured, protected, accepted as you know me. See, this is the goal. This is the goal, the experience that we want to create together. Other motivations for relationships are they're just going to fall short if I don't make my goal this place of intimacy. It's, a bit of a challenge. Can I be real around you? Can I share my thoughts? Can I share my crazy ideas? Can I share my dreams? Can I process with you? Can I not process with you? See, some people are verbal processors. Here comes another thought. I'm having another thought. Another thought's on my mind. Here comes another thought. It's rolling out of my mouth as fast as they come up on the screen. Can I do that with you? Because that's who I am. And then there's people that are just like, what are you thinking about? I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Is there something wrong? Not yet. There has to be, can you deal with me? Can you handle me? Can I be me? Or do I have to be somebody else? I'm different than you. It's clear. Do you value things that are different than you? I listen to you criticize other people who are different than you. I listen to you judge other people who think differently than you. Are you doing that to me too?
That's right.
I don't feel safe when your judgment and criticism towards others poisons our atmosphere, because it does feel like that's going to get turned on me at some point, if it isn't already. Can you appreciate and honor people who aren't you? I just need to know that you're going to care about me no matter what. No matter if I disappoint you, or I scare you, or I even hurt you. I do need to know that you can and will leave your loved one while we work through this. See, these are questions that you want to be able to have supplied on the receiving end of your heart. When you set your heart out there, you want there to be a safe receptacle. So it does require that you know what you're looking for. Know what to expect, because quite possibly your family template didn't require any of this. So what you would hand your heart to is really a pretty scary deal, because you just didn't know what to anticipate. You just didn't create what it is that you wanted to live in. Likewise, you have to become that person. You have to become see, you can't have a clean house with dirty feet. You can, hey, clean your feet off. Hey, don't track your mud in here. No, it doesn't work like that. Your house is dirty because of you. Your house is scary because of you. This place is unhealthy because of you. So you are going to create and attract who you are, not what you want. The practice of communication and building a connection is purposeful. It's an art. And in many ways it requires the best you got. It really does. If you're going to build a safe place, an intimate place, it is just not something that you can afford to trounce through. It is a lot like having an eyeball touching contest. It's like, okay, I need to talk to you. Can I talk first? Okay. Be careful. Okay. This is what you're doing. This is what you have to take with you, the understanding that what we are creating here is deep stuff. We're not just slapping together some boards and nails and glue here. This is people. This is heart to heart. We're going to create a safe place. We're going to create a place where we can have that euphoric experience of being free together. It requires that I do things differently. See, toddlers don't understand something. Toddlers are so self-consumed, so trapped in their little narcissistic, egocentric world. Narcissistic's a little strong. When you see a toddler will hit another kid with a toy. Blam! And then that kid starts crying. And then this kid starts crying because you're scaring me. Stop crying. Like, whoa. You just whacked him with your truck. Yeah, but he scared me. See, the child is crying not because that child's sad. The child is crying because he's been startled by the freaking out of the child who's injured. But the toddler who did the whacking is absolutely clueless that other human beings experience pain. There's no empathy ability here. Whack! Give me that! I want what I want. I don't have a relational context that you feel.
Yeah, that's good.
The more mature that I become in relationships, the more aware I am of how my behavior affects other people. And the more precious the relationship to me, the more I direct myself to protect this union. All right? So there's a process of building relationships. What's your name? Andrew? Andrew? Got it on the third try. Andrew, hang on to that, buddy. Don't let go, okay? No matter what. All right? Now, if this is the strength of our relationship, this is us. This is when we first meet, all right? How you doing? Good? You doing good? Where do you want to go for dinner? Chinese? I don't care. You whatever you want. I don't care. I don't want. I really like I'm sorry. You pick. It's totally up to you. I don't want to. I just want to protect this relationship. I don't want to. Okay. You hang up. No, I'm not hanging up. You hang up. No, I'm not hanging. You hang up first. You hang up first. I know. Totally. We've been talking like 6 hours. You hang up first. I'm not hanging up. You take it. You hang up. Okay. See how fragile this relationship is. I can't really eventually say, Andrew, I need to talk to you. Why are you acting like that? Why are you acting all disconnected? I didn't even tell you what I want to talk to you about yet. See how hard this is? It's going to be really hard to put much demand on this relationship at all because it is so immature and so fragile. But eventually, what I hope to have accomplished is a relationship. Grab onto that. You got it? Hang on to that. Okay? All right. Andrew, I know that you really love your mother, but I need to talk to you about your mom and about some of the stuff that's happening. Please listen to me. All right? Please listen to me. You know what? The logic of this is I'm going to pull him over the table because here's why. The strength of our relationship can handle the demand of my needs versus his needs, and he will not let go. See, the reason that this will work, this connection maturity will work, is both he won't let go of the relationship, but what we've done to build it has made it something to where our needs can be so completely different. You can let go now, buddy. Thank you. Down boy. Come back. Our needs can be so completely different. And the anxiety of these different needs can be so intense. but we've cultivated a bond between us to where we can have a really difficult conversation, and I can move him from where he was and resisting me to a different place that includes more consideration for what it is I need.
That's good. That's really good.
See, this is the purpose and the practice of building intimate relationships, is that we can test them. See, a lot of people think that what Jesus did when he said, if you don't drink my blood and eat my flesh, you have no part in me. A lot of people think that, wow, Jesus was really just being weird that day and chased everybody off. No, here's what Jesus was doing. Jesus was testing his connections. And everybody that had a fragile relationship with him, they were shook off by that. And he's got 12 guys dangling by a strap. He says, how about you guys? Aren't you going to let go too? And they're like, it's not like I didn't think about it. But where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? You have the life. You have life. See, Jesus knows that one day their very lives will be required of them. And they're going to hang on to their end, even unto death. See, this is the practice of intimate relationship. I will not let go. I don't understand why this is so important to you. I just need you to know I don't want to do that. It'll happen when you need to move. I got a new job. I got a job offer. I love my job. The kids love their school. We got us a tussle. We got a very difficult conversation. If we have a fragile relationship, this is going to get ugly. We won't be able to stay connected while we talk about it. Hopefully we can keep coming back, reconnecting, pick up the conversation, and actually mature our relationship just by coming back, just by reconnecting. But we will find the strength of our relationship the moment we have two opposing strong needs. You will find out what you got. The la factor is you're not expressing strong opposing needs in a romantic relationship. You're expressing all the places where you agree with this person. I never met anybody I agreed with so much as you. This is so awesome. That's why internet relationships are so amazing. You're everything I ever dreamed of, aren't I, though? Yeah, we haven't had to test our relationship at all. We never will. Oh, that's bliss. Because I'm currently married to somebody that I'm just worn out and disconnect from, and I don't have any connecting points with them at all. Really? That's why you're so delicious. Because I don't have any tests in that relationship, and I'm failing on my tests in my real relationship. We cultivate strength back to the needs. We begin to realize that men and women are very different. They're comprised of very different motivators, very different needs. And it's interesting that what you find in a man is so much sexual motivation. The man is like, he's got this hormone in his bloodstream. And it just gives him an appetite for sexual behavior. Like bears like honeycomb, like dogs like meat. It's just like What is that? What is that smell? What is that? Well, that's female. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's another one. There's another one. This is this thing. That's not a spirit of lust, guys. Sorry. That's testosterone. That is this thing that is pumping through your blood on purpose. You were designed that way. Now, not to say that ladies don't have sex drive. I'm not saying that at all. But you'll notice that most guys have one. And it's just the craziest thing that the man is motivated in a relationship. It's like, okay, we need to talk, all right, if we have to. Because there's sex on the other side of it, hopefully, right? Is that where we're going with this? Okay. I'll have a dang conversation if I have to, so I can get to sex. Sorry to give that up on you guys, but it's true. It's true. It's true. There is a motivation that's built right into what's moving me towards you, what's moving me towards her, is the hope of sexual behavior. There's this thing moving me in a marriage towards let's say that you've decided to keep this thing pure and that your sex is out of it for you, and we're moving towards this. And the guy is looking at the honeymoon completely different than the lady is. This is like the NBA championship trophy. I cannot wait. And then on the other side of that, it's just an experience. It's just an experience for you ladies. You're just going to have to, because of the design of the guy. And then about 10%, these are random percentages, is I so want to connect with you heart to heart, baby. I just so want to know you and to feel your heart, to share my soul with you, and for us to know one another deeply. It's in there. It's just not a whole lot of motivation. But it's in there. Married people. Manifesting. Does this make men evil? No. This makes them men. This is what's going on. So you have to understand that. You not only have to understand that, you have to value that. Because if you don't value that, ladies, then you don't understand your guy. And if you don't understand him, then you don't know what he needs. And if you don't know what he needs, you don't know how to strengthen your connection with him.
Right. That's right.
Well, that's wrong. I don't want a 90-10. I want a 50-50. Well, that only works if you're 50-50, sweetie. And you're not. You're 90-10 too. You got about a 10% need. About 10% of you is lurking like that. And the other 90% of you is, I love that we love each other. I just love just knowing you and you sharing that with me. That you sharing that with me has just changed everything in how I feel with you. Thank you for sharing your heart. And he's like, are we having sex now? But here's how this is wired. See, this is a cycle. This is a cycle, and if you'll pick up on it, if you'll pay attention to it, you'll see that there's something in it for both parties. This is why it's so important that you learn to fashion a non-sexual soul tie with your guy. Because if you circumvent, if you short-circuit the process of him learning to meet the 90% of needs that you have, if you short-circuit that by introducing a sexual relationship too early, you won't have a guy who knows how to meet your 90%.
That's right.
He never had to. It was never part of the deal. I never had to learn how to crawl into the emotional 10% of myself and expand it and to make it a much bigger part of my existence. I never had to. You didn't require it of me. It was not part of the contract. As the man learns to serve her emotions, to love her as Christ has loved the church, to sacrifice himself for her. See, this isn't about jumping in front of a bus or taking the gun away from the robber, guys. You may never have to do either of those. You may never have to die, physically die, for your wife. But you are going to have to die as you grow your emotional experience capacity. Because it's not something that comes natural to you. Now, whether you are married or not, or wherever you are in this room, it's never too late to realize that what she needs is so much more emotional energy and connection than I've ever naturally been motivated to give. This would be why I'm listening so well. This would be why I am valuing what's different. This would be why I am trying to lock on to what it is that you need and what it is that you feel. Because feelings and needs are emotional experiences. As I learn to satisfy these emotional needs, she feels safe. She feels loved. She feels like a genius for being vulnerable. Now, making love to a vulnerable woman and making love to a brick wall are two different experiences, gentlemen. Two completely different experiences. This isn't really about sex. This is really about being wanted, about being received, about being trusted. And it takes your sexual relationship to a whole nother level. You can have a sexual relationship as just about the behavior of sex. Animals do that.
Yeah.
Or you can experience intimacy, both sexually and emotionally, because you are willing to grow. And ladies, because you are willing to grow. For you to take your emotions into the bedroom and to be vulnerable, both physically and emotionally, is a whole nother experience for you as well. This is the cultivation of intimacy in a relationship between a man and a woman. This is the practice of growing the strength in that bond together. If you don't understand it, then you don't understand how certain things affect it. For example, if a man is driven in this cycle by his sex drive, and he begins to masturbate, he begins to get on the pornography stuff, or however, he just begins to find a sexual release outside of the relationship. What he's done is he's just began a practice of undermining his own motivation to fuel her emotional needs, to feed the piece of her that makes her feel alive in the relationship. He just demotivated himself, and now he is holding back because he's not motivated. See, this thing is pushing you, gentlemen. It's pushing you in to meet with her, to be with her, to know her, to satisfy her. This drive that you have isn't just to get sex. It is really to get you to supply her with what she needs.
That's good.
If you don't understand that, then you don't know how expensive it is to introduce outside sexual behaviors. Likewise, ladies, if you don't understand how important your focus of demanding that and receiving that from him, if you begin to allow other men to satisfy your emotional needs at work or some other place, or you begin to get caught up in the fantasy novels and fantasies about this, that, and the other thing, and whatever's available to you on the internet, you begin to get your emotional needs satisfied outside of this relationship, you're doing the same thing. You're demotivating yourself to pursue a sexual relationship with your husband. And so now this disconnect, this anxiety, all the problems we've talked about already, that is the introduction, because I just didn't understand what it is that you need, what it is we need. This loop that we are feeding and fueling and protecting between us. These are some of the deepest needs that you're going to run into in marriage. But this is probably the biggest areas of conflict in marriage. These two areas. I don't feel valued. I don't feel valued. I don't feel loved. I don't feel loved. See, the same words, same feelings, completely different behaviors. But if I understand what it is that you need, if I understand the way you're wired, then I have a different set of responses to you. If I know how to communicate what it is that I need from you, and it's not wrong, just because we have a different set of needs doesn't mean it's wrong. You know, you're not too sensitive. You're not an animal. It's just that we're different. We're men and women. Now, sometimes it's swapped. Sometimes, I've seen it where the lady wants more sex and the guy wants more intimacy. It's like seeing a white tiger. But it happens. But generally speaking, a massive breakdown in a marriage relationship comes from not understanding and protecting this cycle. I mentioned to you earlier about some keys of connecting, and remember that, a love language, the touch love language, imagine how important the flow of love language is to meeting these two needs. For the touch love language, sex is all about the physical contact and the tank being filled from the affection and the sensuality of it. And for the quality time, it's all about being fully engaged in the other person. And it's, there's just understanding how love languages show up in filling the emotional needs and filling the sexual needs. Because if a woman isn't able to get her emotional needs met in the relationship, she'll have sex just to have some sense of emotional fulfillment. We minimize what it is that she needs by over exaggerating the sexual need. But if you can't communicate, ladies, if you won't communicate, I need a heart-to-heart connection with you. I need intimacy, not just sex. The husband may go, but they were the same thing. No, they're not. I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, describe it to him. What is it that you need to feel? Where did you feel that? When did you feel that? Communicate this. Tell the truth back and forth. Well, if you loved me, you'd just know. How's that working out for you? Oh, I married you because you were prophetic, so I wouldn't have to tell you. How's that working out for you? I do love you. Please use words. Back and forth. Whoever it is, whoever needs whatever. You know, the guy who's sexually frustrated but afraid to pursue just lays there hoping she's just going to initiate. Well, you never initiate because you don't love me. How's that working out for you, buddy? It's not. I'll bet. Tell her. Tell her what you need. Tell her how you feel. Tell her how you need to feel. Oh, she doesn't do it right then and there. She probably won't. She probably won't. Because she didn't want to feel controlled any more than you do. But she'll figure it out. She loves you. She doesn't want you to be in pain and anxious and feel rejected, and she doesn't want you to feel all that. But she doesn't want to be controlled either. And so being punished by your rejection and your pouting because you didn't get your way, that's you going, come on, come on, come on, give me what I want, give me what I want. Instead of just telling her. Learn how to talk. That's why this stuff's so important. And the pillars, remember the pillars. Remember the pillars. And who's in charge of those? Who's directing who in those? Why is that so important? So important because nobody can manage your love but you. Nobody can manage your honor but you. Nobody can manage your truth but you. Nobody can manage your responsibility but you. Nobody can manage your vision and your faith but you. You're in charge of those things. And so the quality of what you're building, you be in charge of that. So laying there, frustrated, angry, stomping off in a huff and being and disconnecting and being angry or being pouty, whatever, that is not your best. Keep this stuff in front of you. Grow it. Talk about it. Evaluate. And grow this connection into something that you can put a demand on, back and forth, back and forth. All right? You okay? Yeah. All right. 9 weeks together. You're holding up pretty good. Well, I really appreciate your time and you being here and that you want to learn. It's a privilege to feed hungry people. And it is it's an honor to partner with you in the families that you're creating and the legacy and the impact on this generation that you're making. So I thank you for that. I thank you for coming. And I just want to pray for you once again. So put your hand on somebody next to you there. And Father, I do pray for more experiences of the deepest satisfying intimacy any of these could imagine. I pray for experiences right from heaven in these people's lives as they pursue your heart, as they pursue your template, the template of heaven, as they build connections that are strong enough to handle the truth, strong enough to work through opposing needs. Lord, help these who are building families for the future. Help them to impart to their children as an inheritance the wisdom and the momentum of love and trust and honor. Lord, I pray for your shalom to fill their life. I pray for your power to transform their environments And I do pray, Lord, that you will renew our minds daily. Continue growing us and maturing us so that everybody who looks at us can tell we belong to you because we love each other so well. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
If you would like information about this or any other product produced by Bethel Church, please visit us online at www.ibethel.org or contact us at customerservice@ibethel.org.